Okay, so today we had drywall delivery. Um, I buy drywall from drywall supply places. I don't go to like the big box stores. Uh, Big box stores are more expensive. Not a lot. I mean, drywall's pretty close, but could be a buck a sheet or more. And then they also don't stock inside, as far as I know. Plus, they charge. Well, they all charge for delivery, depending on how far you're going. These guys charge me for delivery because it's a long way from uh, any suppliers around here in this subdivision. So anyway, yeah. So I just get from a drywall supplier. Now my drywall guy, I buy the drywall and then he buys everything else. You know, the fasteners, screws, nails, the corner beads, the mud, the tape, uh, and the texturing. Uh, so that's just the way he does it. And I pay 47 cents a square foot is what I pay to, and he includes that stuff. So I pay him 47 cents a square foot. I buy the drywall. I pay him 47 cents a square foot, and then he includes those other materials, and then all the labor to hang, tape, and texture. So that's all included. So a house like this, I think it's probably there's 100. Well, if there's the garage, I'm drywalling the walls in the garage, not the ceiling. So altogether, I think this house has 110 12-foot sheets, and then I don't know, 6 or 8 8-foot sheets. The garage is 20 foot, so I usually just buy all 16s. But the garage is 20 foot by 20 foot, so an 8 and a 16, still a little smaller inside dimensions. So there'll be an 8, 8 and a 16, 8 and a 12. Otherwise, there'd be a lot of waste in the garage. And when you pay them to hang, you pay for the waste. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all the stuff that's laying on the floor at the end of the job, you're paying for that square footage. I mean, so you don't want to really like unnecessary waste. I'm able to count sheets. A lot of people don't know how to count sheets. They usually just hire a drywall company, and then they just include everything, all the drywall. I can get it done cheaper, but I know how to count sheets on the wall. It's not as easy as you think. I mean, you got to kind of know what you're doing. I'm usually pretty close. I don't know if I've hardly ever been short. Sometimes I'm over a little bit. And if your guys are honest, they don't just like burn up the sheets going, oh, we got 10 left, let's just burn them up, because they're going to charge you. So if I buy 100 sheets, for example, and they could do it in 96, but then they're going to get paid for 96. Now they're paid for the full sheets, even though a lot of it gets wasted. That's just the way. That's just the drywall business. Okay, so but it doesn't matter because it's just the way it is. Um, so they might go, oh, there's 4 more sheets. Let's just burn them, waste them. They can cut and waste, and it's surprising. I mean, if you got a 4-foot piece cut off, they should use it inside of a closet somewhere where you can use or on this wall or whatever. But honest guys won't do that. But anyway, so if you know how to count drywall, you can save some money because you can either buy the drywall, you can buy all the materials, or I like guys that include all the small stuff because you're not screwing around trying to figure out corner beads and stuff. So, all those. Then getting the fasteners and all that. Usually fasteners are always included, even if you're paying for the other materials. Anyway, yeah. So that's kind of on drywall. So um, uh, that's something to think about. If you feel you're confident enough to count the sheets or to learn how to count sheets, or maybe you hire a company. If you're going to get into building, you hire a company a few times that includes everything, and then you see how many sheets. You ask, well, how many sheets was it, or you're there when he's counting. You kind of ask some questions or whatever. Yeah, because it gets, when you start getting in all these rooms, you got 12-foot sheets. Like, how do you count this room? And I'm not going to get into it because I couldn't teach. I mean, it would take maybe a whole day because every house is different, right? So anyway, but that's what I'm saying. You go through and you go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you got to kind of know where they're going to waste stuff, and so they put a whole sheet across and they router out around the doors, for example. So you don't figure like these separate small pieces. You just figure they're gonna do the whole wall. That sort of thing. Anyway, so that's something for you to think about. Like I said, you can save. Probably I save. I mean, if I don't hire a drywall company, I'm going to pay these guys the drywall was around 2,500 delivered. So it's about $18 a sheet plus tax. And like I said, they charged me $100 delivery fee, which is not bad because they're like, I don't know, they're quite a distance from here. And then I'm probably gonna pay the drywall guys. I mean, I don't know. I know how many square feet I have. I'll just calculate it. You know, probably around that same amount, maybe a little bit less. Probably, yeah, maybe like less than 2,500, maybe 2,300. I don't know, something like that. So it's gonna be less than $5,000 to do the whole house and the garage walls. You know, hang tape, texture, and all that. They also the drywall guys, or most drywall guys, all the guys that I've used in the different states I've built in, they always include putting up the hardie board. I mean, so you need to ask: are you including installing the hardie board, or if they're supplying all the materials, if they're supplying the hardie board and installing it? I mean, most guys will, because it's the same thing as drywall. It's just a little bit harder to cut, but yeah. So they always do that. I mean, to have the tile guys do it's kind of a headache. So I just have them do that. So I've got the hardie. Actually, I wanted hardie. The guy misheard me and he sent this. It's like Duroc. It's not Duroc brand, but it's the stuff that isn't hardie. I don't like it as much. I like hardie, half-inch hardie. Anyway, it is what it is. So it's kind of my fault, because when they wrote on the quote, they just wrote cement board. They didn't actually write hardie, even though I told them, you know, it was a phone. It wasn't a. That's the other thing. It was a phone. So I called him. I gave him the list because it's just 100 some sheets of drywall. It wasn't a complicated list. So I'm like, why should I type it up and email it? So he didn't. I guess he didn't hear the word hardie. Anyway, so, but my point is they should install it. You know, whether you're paying for the materials or not. And then insulation. I mean, this is Texas, so I think we're in zone 8. So there's R13 in the walls, 2x4 exterior walls. Other parts of the country I lived in, you had to do 2x6 walls. R21, I guess. Yeah, R21. And then R30 in the slopes, R38 in the flat ceilings, and R19 in the floor. And this whole job, labor and materials, 1,200 square foot house. And I've got open, you know, some open areas and so on and so forth. And it took 2 guys, including under the, you know, they go in the crawl space and put it in. I mean, it wasn't even a long day. It was probably a 7-hour day or whatever. It was like 2,300. Labor and materials. Insulation is not worth doing yourself. I mean, if you go to a big box store and you buy like, what's that pink stuff? Owens Corning. You know, I mean, you're going to pay more for the material than, I mean, this job was like 2,300. No, 2,200. 2,200. Labor material. Probably would cost you that much for the insulation. Or it'd be so close. Is it really worth it to try to do that yourself? You know, it's not. I know people that try, but it's not. And I've built in 4 different states, and I just find that's true no matter where you are. These guys buy this stuff in bulk. They usually use John Mansville brand, which is supplied by the insulation supply houses where the trades go to get their insulation. I mean, they come with a big truck, a big tall, like a step van type thing, or like a UPS truck. They can blow in if you want blow in. You know, so it's one of those trades it's not worth doing. It's doing yourself. It's not worth. I don't know even if you'd save any money. I never penciled it out, but I mean, I know how much insulation is in Home Depot. It's like really expensive, especially if it's faced. Now these guys, we don't have to use faced here, so nobody uses faced. I think when I built in California and even Oregon, they use unfaced, but then they cover, was it the walls only with plastic, like a vapor barrier? I don't know. Anyway, they don't do that here. This is how it's done. So anyway, yeah. So that's that cost. You know, you want to make sure that you got good guys that fit it decent. I mean, some guys are real sloppy. This guy was the owner of the company and then a worker. Other times when I use him, sometimes he just sends other guys out. You know, he's not there, so it's a little sloppier. So I got to go around and, you know, point stuff out. This guy didn't have to point out anything. Anyway, yeah. See, it's all fit real tight. It's a friction fit. They're supposed to start drywalling tomorrow. I think they're going to hang tomorrow. This is a short day for a couple of guys hanging. That's another thing. It's not worth doing yourself. Hanging drywall, or certainly not taping drywall. I mean, they'll tape this thing in a day. If they use hot mud, they can do the whole house in a day. 4 guys can do the whole house in a day because they can do all the coats if they use, like, you know, like 45-minute mud. It depends on their schedule and all that. So, or they might just use regular mud, come out one day, wait for a few days for it to dry, come out, do the second coat, like that. So, and I just do orange peel texture, which is standard. I do light texture, and then on the ceiling, I do light texture, and then I have them do a knockdown. It's called a knockdown, where they run a little trowel across the, looks like a 18-inch wide putty knife or whatever. They run that across after they spray the orange peel on, and then it kind of just flattens it out a little bit. Just gives it a little different look. So I usually do that on ceilings, and then I do light orange peel on the walls. Yeah, so anyway, I think that's kind of going over not much to talk about insulation. I mean, I could have recorded when the guys were here, but it's like this, the fibers are blowing everywhere, and you get itchy just being in the room. So it's not that exciting to watch guys insulate. I'm sure you can find find videos of guys insulating on YouTube. And then, yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh, the other thing too, make sure, what else was I going to say? Oh, the most important thing is, what I do before drywall is I go around and I spray. I mark everything. So, like this box, so I have my own code system. So, an outlet that's farther off the floor, like where the kitchen cabinets are, I make one spot on the floor and I make it out a little farther. If it's an outlet that's down at standard height, which is like 16 inches to the top, I put that spot close to the wall. I don't have an example here, but there's probably, yeah, like here. So now that spot's close to the wall. If there's something on the ceiling, like this is the air return, I put a square on the floor. If it's an outlet that's real high up, like this one is for the doorbell, then I put a spot way out here. And if the spot might be confused with something else, I'll do a line that shows it. Okay, this is a spot for something on the wall. Okay, and it's something farther up because the spot is out farther. Light cans, recessed fixtures, that's a circle on the floor. Air returns or air supplies that are on a wall, get a square with a line facing the wall, so okay, it's not a ceiling one, it's a wall one. Okay, that's a return air for the master bedroom. And then there's a supply air. We were limited where we could put stuff here, so we had to have them close together, but it works fine. I've built this floor plan before. Anyway, yeah, so that's here. And then a line shows, okay, that's AC or heating and AC thing, and it's on the wall. And then again, there's a low box, a spot, and then there's boxes that are farther up. These are your light switches. There's three dots. This is for smoke detector. So it's a standard wall type box. That's a little square on the floor, like that. So it's like a little system I have, and I know what everything means. I mean, you could probably come up with another kind of system, but this is pretty simple. Boxes on the wall for the vanity. It shows it's a round box, it's a circle, and it shows it's on the wall. If it was on the ceiling, there wouldn't be any line. The line just shows that it's on the wall. Here again, a box up higher. Here, I even go in the bath. I always line my bathtubs with cardboard too. Do that. Put several layers of cardboard. Make sure the tub is clean. There's no screws or nothing in there. Before you put your cardboard on, put several layers so the trades don't damage it. After the drywallers are done, after they're done hanging drywall, I'll take that out and I'll see if any screws had slipped down in there and they got underneath, and then they could scratch the tub. So I'll take the cardboard out real quick, and then I'll just make sure there's no screws or anything else. Put the cardboard back in, protect the tub. There's also tub protectors. Some plumbers, even my guys, if they have them with them, they're like a real light plastic tub protector. But it's a real thin, light plastic. It's molded to fit inside of a tub. It's a temporary thing for construction sites. I always end up putting cardboard on top of it anyway, because this will really protect the tub. Anyway, so that's something else to think about. So So here's the fan. There's a fan up there, and even this one, I just spray it here. The reason I do this, I go through the whole house and do it. And what I do is I go room by room. So first I do all the stuff on the walls, and then I look up at the ceiling and see what's there, and then I go around and spray those. And then I double check. I go back and I look, because sometimes you miss one. It's surprising, but you miss one. Anyway, the reason I do this, and I've taught a lot of builders this. I don't know. Nobody taught me this. It just, You start drywalling, boxes get covered up, light fixtures get covered up, or recess cans, or whatever. They get covered up. These guys are in a hurry. It's a quick trade. It's a low budget trade. They're not paid unless they move really fast. So I even put one here on top of I got a deal on the flooring, so I bought the flooring and it's just sitting here. But anyway, yeah. So the reason I do that is if something gets covered up, you'll know it, or you at least know what's there and about where it is. I mean, I try to put the circles, on the floor, not directly. I mean, it's not perfect, but it gives you an idea. Hey, there's something here. And I think the drywallers also use it as a guide. I mean, I never talked to them about it, but I imagine they look and go, oh, there's something supposed to be. They know why all these marks are here. So what I do is before I pay the hangers, okay. Usually, the drywall guy that quotes to do all the labor, he quotes the hanging. He deals with the hangers and all that. But he'll get like half. So let's say the bid's $4,000, for example. Done hanging, he'll get $2,000 from you. Some guys do, some guys don't. They'll wait till the whole job is done. But before I give him any money, or even before the hangers leave, if I'm here, I'll walk through this whole and I'll make sure that if there's a circle there, a light fixture showing, you know what I'm saying? So I'll go through, okay, there's this, there's that, I'll go through and make sure nothing is covered. And every now and then I'll still find one that gets covered. I go, hey guys, there's something up there, for example, right? So then they'll cut it out. It's easier than waiting until the hangers come, or the finishers come, the tapers. So anyway, so that's why I do this. It's really important, because if you don't do this, I guarantee you, your boxes are going to get covered. It just happens. I mean, I had a job one time. I think that was the one that finally made me do it. It's not finally, but, or maybe I didn't come. I was years ago. Maybe I wasn't able to get out and get it done in time, or maybe they showed up early and I don't know. I had 8. It was a big house. I know that. I think it was in California. It was several thousand square foot house. There was like eight boxes covered, eight things covered. 8 electrical things covered. I mean, it's ridiculous. Sometimes you get 1 or 2. I mean, at the most, they covered 8. And we didn't know where they were until the electrician came out. A couple things I know. I was like, hey, there's supposed to be a light fixture up there or something like that. A couple things I think we got. So I held money on the guy, and I said, hey, I know stuff's covered up here. Something ain't right. So you need to say I held up maybe 10%, or I don't know, whatever it was, and he was fine with that. I mean, some guys might not be, but it's like, hey, but anyway, the electricians, they know, and so anyway, we got it all resolved in the end, and it wasn't a custom home, so it wasn't embarrassing in front of the homeowner, but it was a spec home, but we got it all resolved in the end, but it was a big mess. This is just this is really something really important to do, if you're going to be building homes, whether you build your own and you just build one, or whatever, because even if you hire a guy to do everything, right? So you just hire the whole thing, includes all of it. He's not going to do this. I mean, I've never seen anybody else do it. Maybe I've seen a builder do it here and there. I don't know. I can't remember, but I know I've taught a lot of builders, and I'm about to teach another one who's he stops by every now and then. He's new. Show him this trick, So anyway, that's actually the most important thing I was covering today, and I almost, it could have been a second video, but it's easier to make it all one. And I certainly don't like editing, as I've said before. Anyway, yeah, I mean, that's kind of it. Make sure all your, like if you're putting in blocking for cabinets, I don't know if I covered this before, but make sure even the blocking is covered, because when you put screws in to fasten the cabinets, I use 2.5 inch, so they go through 3/4 inch of material in the cabinet, they go through 1/2 inch drywall, and then 1.5 inch stud. I mean, they could penetrate, especially here where I had I put my blocking in after the plumbers came, because they showed up early by surprise. So I had to notch it around and all that. Normally they'll just, here, this was put in after. This is the HVAC guys, the drain for the overflow for the HVAC. So they cut it out. But anyway, so if I would have had all these in, the plumbers would, or make sure they do, because some don't put in blocking. They'll put it everywhere else, but they won't put it where there's blocking. And I'm like, guys, this blocking is here because this is where I'm going to be screwing cabinets. This is one of the most important places to put your nail plates, right? Because those screws, especially if you have to notch the material, they'll definitely go into the pipe. Okay, and a pipe did get hit, not by me but by the siding guys. when they're putting the siding on the outside. But anyway, yeah, so, and the plumbers came and fixed it. But anyway, yeah, so it's always important to make sure that you've got plates covering everything. Now, the other thing I do, now I'm going to be hanging my own cabinets, but even if you're not, I always take a picture. So I'll take a picture of this wall, the lower part, the upper part, this wall, the lower part, the upper part. I'll go into the bathrooms and I'll take a picture of the vanity wall here, because it's only the lower part. There's no upper cabinets in the vanity. And the other bathroom. And even sometimes even here if it's necessary, but there's not much going on here. So anyway, and the reason I do that is even if you're not going to be installing the cabinets, it's nice to have a reference. What's behind there? Even though you got nail plates, it's no, what the heck's back there? You know, you can just refer to the pictures, especially if you're hanging cabinets. You go, okay, this is, you know, these are 16-inch centers, so you can find out about where you're at when you're installing cabinets, where these pipes are in the wall, just to be extra careful. Here, unfortunately, the plumbers, I don't know why I didn't catch it till after it was done, is they put the vent for the kitchen sink at the same height where you'd fasten the cabinets. And I told them, guys, the top of cabinets is usually 36 inches. Actually, it's 34 and a half. But, you know, you should put your pipes up above so that you don't run it. Now I've got all this place here where I can't fasten cabinets because there's an 1.5 inch vent pipe running behind here, and then it turns and goes up here somewhere. Anyway, yeah, so I got all this, so I don't know what I'm going to have to figure something out because I can't have that much area where I can't attach cabinets. But anyway, it's good that I have a picture because maybe I can finagle something and put a screw up at an angle. I'll miss maybe drill through the very top of the nail plate and put the screw at the angle because I know about where the pipe is. You know, something like that. So anyway, that's another thing. Take some pictures. Even if you're not, it's good reference for your cabinet guys. Yeah, so anyway, I think that's about it. And this video is getting kind of long. Yeah, I got a bunch of other videos on, you know, this kind of stuff, the different stages of building a house, just from my 40 years plus of experience in construction and home building, commercial construction, commercial remodeling, all different kinds. I was a framer. I mean, I've done a lot of different stuff. Anyway, so if you want this kind of information that a lot of other people don't cover in this format, which is there's no editing, there's no intro, no outro, no fancy stuff, just trying to get some information out there. Check out my channel. I mean, you can like and subscribe, yeah, whatever. But it's about, you know, check out my channel, and then liking helps, because I think the algorithm, if you like the videos, you hit the like button, then the algorithm picks it up that a lot of people like it. It shows it makes it, you know, available for more people that are trying to. This is just for people to learn stuff, you know, stuff that I learned over the years. That's information that's kind of hard to find. There's a lot of videos out there with guys showing them doing the work, but they're not explaining what they're doing, why they're doing it, and all that. And then this is house construction. This isn't just one trade. So it's like from a home builder's perspective, especially I'm a home builder that builds mostly spec homes, although I will build for other people. You know, that kind of information that's real helpful to people, even if you're just building your own home for yourself. Anyway, yeah, back to work.